What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Another day, another video. And I must say, I did miss y'all. I haven't made a video in a while, but with the release of Justice Hunters, yeah, we got 3 new decks. We got Dracotail, Yummy, K9, and I think that's going to spice up the format a little bit. But unfortunately, we don't have a ban list. So Raizel, Mitsurugi, Malice, all the other decks are still pretty much at the power level they were before the release of this set. But we can still, combat that with certain deck choices and maybe just splashing some engines from the new set into old decks and just revitalizing things. But let's get through the deck real quick. It is a 40 card list, mostly Dracotail. I didn't want to go heavy branded because then that just turns the deck into a branded deck. I want to play Dracotail. But let's go through it real quick. So starting off, we're playing triple Dracotail Lucius. We're going triple Dracotail Phimina, triple Dracotail Malulu, and then we're doing double Urgula and 1 Pan. And then for the spells, we're doing triple Ruha Dracotail and triple Ketu Dracotail. And then we're doing 1 of each trap. We're doing 1 Dracotail Flame and 1 Dracotail Horn. And then for the Nun Engine, we are doing, I think, the best Molcharmy for this coming format. It's going to be triple Molcharmy Perulia, and then triple Fuelos, triple Drolenlock, and triple Super Poly. And then for the engines that I've added to the deck, it's only going to be 4 cards for the K9. It's going to be triple Azuna and 1 Lupus. And then for the branded engine, it's going to be 1 Blazing Cartesia, 1 Fallen of Albaz, 1 Fusion Deployment, and 1 Almighty Branded Fusion. That is 40 cards, and it has been working super well for me. I actually really enjoy it. Having that small extra engine of K9 and branded really opens up some more plays. It does more for the deck than less for the deck. And I just didn't want to jam a bunch of hand traps in the deck. Like I've seen some builds where they just do a small engine of Dracotail and then just throw a bunch of hand traps in there. And that just didn't seem fun to me. That just feels like Malice all over again. Small Malice engine and a bunch of Nun engine. But for extra deck, we are playing double Dracotail Arthelion. I'm doing 1 of the Golemel. I'm still up and down on this. Sometimes I like 1, sometimes I like 2. But so far 1 has been working really well for me because you can just recycle it as well. And then we're doing, for the branded engine, 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Granganol, 1 Lubellion the Searing Dragon, and 1 Renbrum the Striking Dragon. And then for Super Poly targets, we're doing Mud Dragon, we're doing Garura, and then the new card, Secretarian Dragon, and Mysterian Dragon, an old card. And then for the rank 5s that I chose to play for the K9, we're doing 1 Ripper, and we're doing 1 Valon, the Super Size Sky Blaster. And then for links, we are doing 1 Spirit with Eyes of Blue, and 1 Hieratic Seals of Heavenly Spheres. That lines it up for the extra, 15 cards. And for the side deck, I'm doing double Molcharmy Meows. If you watch some of my older videos, I hyped this card up a lot, but I really believe in it. It is Performapal 5 Rainbow Magician, playing 3 of these. If you haven't seen it before, let's read it real quick. So, it's the Pendulum effect that's the best. Basically, you cannot Pendulum summon except for extra deck, blah, blah, blah. But each player applies 1 of these effects based on the number of set cards in their spell and trap card zone. 0, all monsters they control cannot attack or activate their effects. That is the effect that we like the most, mainly because if you're going first and you're so worried about K9, you're so worried about, let's say, Vanquish Soul, you just start your turn off, place this down. You place this down, all of their K9 cards, effects can't activate on field. The VS cards, they can't activate on field. And the cool thing is, since we're playing a fusion deck and we send cards to the graveyard a lot, let's read the monster effect. If either player sets a spell and trap on your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. So let's say you draw this and you don't want to play it during your turn. You can Phimina, you can Cartesia, you can Malulu, send this to the graveyard, and whenever Malulu activates its effect, or any of the Dracotail monsters activate their effect to set a Dracotail spell or trap, this will trigger and it'll automatically place itself. So you are skill draining the board during your opponent's turn. So it's kind of sick, honestly. Has more like interactions than you think it does. And it actually does a lot because a lot of decks are really monster heavy. And if they do play spells, their spells are needed in order to actually play the game. So if you can remove a resource from them and make them play in a weird sticky situation, I really like this card. So I recommend testing it out in a deck that plays a lot of spells and traps. So really amazing card. Highly recommend. And then of course, nothing's changed. Triple Malice, basically Triple Lancia. And then I actually really like Ash, but not in the main deck because I feel like it doesn't do enough. So I actually moved it to the side, and we're doing Triple Ash in the side. And then we're just doing 1 Thrust, 1 Dark Ruler, 1 Called By, and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. So this is all still kind of a work in progress for the side deck, depending on what's actually popular. But this has been testing really well for me. And then the interaction with the 5 Rainbow Magician is kind of really cool too. So it's been working well. You know, being able to skill drain your opponent during their turn is kind of sick. And then some cool interactions. So one cool interaction is, I know that you're like, okay, cool. You get fusion locked a lot of the times. So why are you playing the K9 engine? So the K9 engine is really cool because we need cards that do things. And during your opponent's turn, like a turn 0 play, being able to make the like Valon or the Ripper against like a monster hand trap, monster effect in the hand deck like Vanquish Soul or a heavy K9 engine. Like being able to actually do that, you know, making a Ripper, making the Valon, more interruption. But the cool thing is this card. This card reoccurs. So whenever your opponent activates an effect, blah, 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 from the hand, you can special summon it from the hand or graveyard. So let's say you already used the effect, and this is in the graveyard already. Going into turn whatever, you can special summon this back out, and you can make your Rindrum, where's my boy? Right here, with your Fallen of Albaz. And his effect is, when a Fusion Synchro XYZ or Link monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate that effect, then return 1 monster on the field to hand. It doesn't target. So this is a recurring monster. You can make this. And then when this is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, special summon that or either this card, but you get more interruption. So you can make this, negate something. If this goes to the graveyard, bring back Albaz. Albaz, fuse away something on your opponent's side of the field. So these are cool little interactions that actually do things. And then along with the branded fusion is going to be the fusion deployment for Fallen of Albaz and Cartesia. So fusion deployment is you just reveal one of your extra deck monsters and summon a monster from your deck that is listed on it. So Blazing Cartesia is a card that reoccurs itself whenever a fusion monster sends to the graveyard, and this is in the graveyard. During the end phase, you just add it back. But on top of that, it is also a monster that allows you to quick fuse. So if you read it, let's go right here. So if you have a Fallen of Albaz on the field or graveyard, you can special summon this. But on top of that, quick effect, you can fusion summon 1 level 8 or higher fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. So this can make your Arthalion, your Secretarion, your Mysterion, or any of the branded cards during your opponent's turn. And what I feel like is going to get popular, like it is in the OCG, is people are playing Retaliating Sea. So this is a way to play around Retaliating Sea by just summoning this, and then it's a card that doesn't special summon a monster like a spell card. So you can play this, and this is pretty solid. And then what other cool stuff is here? A little more explanations. So for my Nun engine, I needed cards that did things. So this is why I chose this lineup right here, along with, where'd my squids go? There we go. So I needed cards that actually did things. I needed cards that put my opponent in weird situations to where they make half boards. And unfortunately, Dracotail is a deck that needs card economy. So I need cards that replace themselves. I need cards that either make my opponent play bad or give me more resources so I can keep playing, because this deck is a fair deck. It's not like Yummy where you can kind of explode. We don't have an Obedient Schooled. We do have a card that's kind of like a Branded Fusion, but kind of not. But you can also like Ash it, and you can do a bunch of stuff to it. But playing the triple Perulia and triple Fua, like these cards do things. Like it nets you more. If at worst, it's going to be an Upstart Goblin. And even at worst, it's just a monster in your hand that you can fuse with to make any of the Dracotail monsters, because all of their fusions require one monster in the hand, at least. So you can just get rid of these and just use them as material for your Arthur-Lion. So let's say you open like 3 of these and you just send all 3 of them to the graveyard plus 1 Dracotail monster, and you can add or bounce 3 cards on the field or graveyard back to the hand. So it's kind of sick. And then Super Poly is just Super Poly. Like it's a fusion deck. You can clear boards, clear Yummy. It's just powerful. And then you can do that cool little interaction where, let's say like you search off your Ketu, and then on resolution, you can go Super Poly and fuse some stuff away. That way your opponent can't droll you because can't respond. Kind of cool. And then Joel and Lockbird, I wish I did not have to play this card, but unfortunately I needed something that was strong enough to hinder Raizio Mitsurugi. That's literally it. If Raizio Mitsurugi wasn't a thing, I would not be playing Joel and Lock in the main. It would just be Ash Blossom, because it's just more generic. It's more 1-for-1. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's my ratios. And I'll do some combo tutorials and little tutorials on like how to play certain situations or what to do with certain test hands. But this has been working really well for me. This is really fun. If you're playing the branded version that's like 50, 60 cards, like I feel like that has the higher ceiling, because you're basically just playing branded. It's branded and friends. But I wanted to play Dracotail, so I wanted to go more Dracotail focused. And yeah, I really enjoy the deck. It's really fun. But if you have any suggestions, if you have any concerns or anything, feel free to comment. I will gladly respond to them. But again, Dragontail, Canine, branded. It's super fun. I love y'all. Peace. I missed y'all.